What's up, Brian? Congratulations, man.
How's it going? I appreciate it.
Um, first question, how was this process for you? And can you take us into it a little bit in terms of, how it unfolded for you and when you were aware that you would in fact be opting to stick around for a little bit longer?
Yeah, it was definitely a little more stressful than I thought it was going to be, last weekend, being my first time having gone through free agency. So I wasn't really, sure what to expect or, really what I was getting myself into. So I didn't realize it was going to be that stressful, but I wanted to be back in LA and, excited the way things unfolded. And, I'm super pumped to be back with the guys. And, once, the free agency thing started, I really just wanted to get back there. So glad it's over. Glad I am, committed to playing football with, the guys for 3 more years and being somewhere where I have some familiarity and, just people that, I love being around and love going to work with. So, extremely excited and, pumped to, just have, 3 more years of football, like I said.
Yeah, and Brian, my understanding is that you did have a choice, a couple of options to work through, but what was the factor in playing with Matthew Stafford this last year? He's talked about how much he's enjoyed working with you and how much did that factor into it?
Definitely. That's another thing, just, being around Matt for the 1 year that I had, wasn't something I really wanted to leave. I think I have, I know I'm 26 and I'm going into my 5th year of football in the NFL, but I really feel like I'm still a young football player and I'm still maturing in our offense and I'm growing, in our schemes and things of that nature. So, I really didn't want to leave, kind of not knowing how much better I could be in our offense. And that was definitely something that, was in the back of my mind where, I didn't want to go somewhere and, be in a situation where, I didn't have someone like Matt to work with. And, at the end of the day, he's definitely, that was in the back of my mind. He'd be a hard person to let know you were leaving. So definitely excited to be back with him and continue to grow our relationship and keep getting better together.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Nick?
Hey, Brian, congratulations.
Appreciate it.
You talk about just familiarity, but also just the culture. A lot of players talk about the culture of the Rams, the culture of the locker room. How much did that help you, just not only as a player, but as a person to be able to contribute to that culture and be able to progress as a unit?
Yeah, just again, coming back to guys I've worked with, and I know it's the NFL and there's going to be some new faces in our building this year and some new coaches, but our standard never changes. Sean does a great job at who he brings in our building and, what the expectation is. So, I know not much is going to change on that front, what our goals are and where we're going to be working and focusing on. So I'm just excited to get back at that. And I know, the Rams have big goals in 2022 and, we have a lot of work to do and, a lot of stuff we want to build on and improve on. So, kind of similar to Jordan's question, just want to get back with the guys and really see how far we can take this thing. And, last year was obviously a great year, but, we really do want to get better and, just keep working on us and, improving our techniques, our skill sets and, everything that comes with being a great football team.
Thank you, Brian.
Kevin?
Hi, Brian. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Of course. You talked about wanting to keep playing with Matthew Stafford. Allen Robinson sounds excited to be catching passes from Matthew Stafford. How much can an individual like Matthew kind of be a magnet for guys to the Rams?
I think Matt's just such a great leader, just such a good person, easy to work with. And, it's not like that everywhere. So I think the environment we have is going to be, great place for Allen to come in and, kind of just step right in and do what, he's expecting of himself. And, I'm sure he'll fit right in. And, he's obviously a great talent, being from Chicago. He's, one of those guys you hear about and, you watch growing up. I know he went to Orchard Lake St. Mary's in Michigan where, I had a lot of college teammates. So he's a couple years older than us. So he was always that big wide receiver that, all the young guys talked about and, was making the big catches at Penn State and stuff. So just another one of those guys who, you grew up, looking up to, kind of talking about, in the locker room and, now he's going to be my teammate. So, pretty cool just to, get around him and see what he's about.
And then one more question. The Rams offense went through a lot of changes just between the time you got hurt in 2019 and when you came back. And now clearly it's not staying static, personnel changes, et cetera. How do you wrap your arm, or I guess, how would you describe how the offense has changed or evolved in that time for those of us who struggle to wrap our arms around it?
Yeah, I back to Sean again. I think he does a great job at, knowing who his personnel is and, playing to the strengths of the guys that are out there. And, I've gone through, a bunch of line changes since I've been here, not like this where guys are leaving in free agency, but, whether it's injury or, like someone is leaving in free agency, whether it was, Saffold and in 2018, guys like Jamon Brown leaving, guys who have, played meaningful snaps for the Rams. And, there's always that next guy who's ready to step up and fill that role. And, we have guys who have played, meaningful snaps and meaningful games and played contributing, winning football for us who, haven't necessarily been the guy yet. So, I know we have guys in our room who we'll be counting on. And, when guys move on, people are going to have to step up and, we'll have a better idea of where those voids are once we, get into OTAs, whether that's, Witt's leadership moving on or, Corb's leaving at the right guard spot, but, we're going to work hard and find answers for, for what's happened. And, whether guys are leaving or not, like I said earlier, our standard's going to stay the same and we're going to keep trying to get better. Doesn't matter who's in there and whether who we have coming back, there's a level of comfortability with everybody and just excited to get back in that room. And, it is what it is. And the guys who are in there and it's a different year. So.
Yeah. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Gary.
Hey, Brian. Congratulations. Wondering when you go, I'm sure you don't look back too much, but with what you were going through in 19 and 20, did you ever think that you were going to get, to this point where you were going to be in a position to, really profit from your performance and get this kind of a deal?
Yeah. Going into last season, that was kind of, obviously in my head, just I had 1 year left on my deal and, coming off an injured year where I hadn't really played much. And, 2019, I'm the starter. I get hurt. I'm not the starter. I feel like we've shared this story a bunch with you guys, but yeah, just thinking back to 2019, I talk about, being in a dark place, and the place really is not knowing you're going to be playing football. You're hurt. You have a year left on your deal. And then you kind of get in that area of, okay, I'm a free agent who hasn't played, or I'm a starter who plays in year 4. Those things kind of set up, this. And in my mind, going into last year, I obviously wanted to be the starter last year, but it went further than that. And I'd be lying to say that, it wasn't in the back of my head that I wanted to have a great year to, to continue my football career. And, my back was definitely, against the wall, 19 season, 20 season, 21 season, whatever it was. I don't want to say poor me and, this and that, but, there were a lot of times where there weren't, a lot of people in my corner. And, I'm thankful for the people who I had there. And, this has always been my plan. And I can tell from, a lot of your guys' articles that hasn't always been the plan, but, I'm just started working hard and, this has been my goal and just, really happy the way that this has worked out. Again, I can talk about all the hard stuff I've been through in the NFL, but this has made it all worth it. And, really just, happy to be back with the Rams and, keep living the dream really. And I know a lot of people say that kind of jokingly, but, the best day of my days, going to the building and being with those guys. So, just to have the ability to do just keep to everyone, what are you going to buy? And, I'm really just honestly happy that, I get to keep playing football.
Thanks very much.
I don't even know if I answered your question. I just went on a little rant there, but
No, you did. Thanks very much. And congrats again.
thank you.
Stu. Hey, Brian, add to the congratulations as well. In terms of just the offensive line as a whole, you talked about earlier, Whit moving on, retiring. What's it mean, for you guys as a group to be able to bring back somebody like Joe Noteboom who can who's had the experience and can kind of step in and seamlessly transition into that role, at least based on, I think, what most people expect.
Yeah, it's huge. Joe drafted the same year as me, so a guy who's been in our offense for 4 years and, kind of played everywhere, along our offensive line position, kind of, the left tackle and waiting, if you will. Joe's obviously a freak athlete and, a great player. And, I think that left tackle spot really is, where he'll shine the most. And, he's been a selfless guy doing what he can to help our team win for, the last 4 years, whether that was left guard, backing up right tackle, backing up right guard, backing up Whit. He's really just, been that guy who's always been willing to say yes for what our team needs to do to be successful. And, I'm pumped for him to, to have this opportunity to really, own being the guy. And, with Whit leaving, it obviously, stinks, kind of selfish of him, ditching out on us. But I understand, he had a great career, and obviously can't say thank you enough to him. And, just to talk about him, that's another reason why I think we have so much confidence in Joe going forward. Like, he was Whit's backup for 4 years, but, he just absorbed so much wisdom and so much stuff that Whit taught him over those 4 years. And he's just taken so many strides and gotten so much better. And, the few starts that he had this year and, into the playoffs, I mean, played against Tampa this year and had meaningful starts last year. He's always been a guy who, other teams have guys go down and teams worry. You never worry about Joe being in there, and I know he's gonna, do great things. And, he's pumped about this chance too. So I'm just, new era of Rams offensive line. It's going to be weird without Whit there, but, Joe's going to be one of those guys that's going to step up and, really help our team.
Thank you.
Maria.
Hey, Brian, congratulations, of course, on the deal. And when you think about, the adversity that you overcame over the last few years, and you just win a Super Bowl, what's the last month of your life been like? And do you reflect on that?
Yeah, it's been a serious roller coaster. It still really hasn't set in that we won that game. I'm just kind of in, I don't know if it's denial or just kind of going with the motions, but you just kind of get in such a kind of a schedule and a routine, and, it's the off season, it's time to start working out. So I definitely celebrated a little bit longer than most seasons, kind of carried out a week or two longer than it should have, but you don't win the Super Bowl too often. So it was a roller coaster of a time, a lot of fun, a lot of celebrations, being with the guys and all that. But, now it's time to get back to work and focus on the task at hand. And, like you said, we obviously won the Super Bowl last year, but, the new league year and new goals. So 22-23 season is here, and time to, close the yearbook and keep working.
Thank you.
And we'll wrap with Greg and then Jordan.
Hey, Brian, congratulations.
Thank you.
The Rams lost a lot of talent last year before the season. They lost a lot of talent this year in the offseason. What does it mean to you as a player to be on a franchise that continually seems to refresh that, not only from a talent standpoint, but from a leadership standpoint? You guys lost guys like Michael Brockers last year. You're losing Robert Woods this year. What do you attribute that to, and what does that mean to you as a player to be in an organization that's going to overcome that every year?
Better realize why we're there and, what we're doing this for. And, I've been there for 4 years now, and every year there's a tone, a work ethic, and just an expectation that, the older guys set and, everyone follows. And if you don't follow, most of the time those guys aren't wearing blue and yellow in September. So, I think we do a great job, finding right stuff and who want to truly win and love football. And I think those things are, pretty imminent in being successful in NFL. And we have a lot of those guys in our building. And that's just, one of the things that makes it so much fun to go to work and compete and just, get in there every day. And it's, it's not hard to be motivated going to our building. You grab the football and Aaron Donald's standing across from you, and I could go down the list and, pretend like I'm Sean and give you all 11 guys on our defense, but I'll save you from that. But no, it seriously is so motivating just coming into our building and the guys that we have. And, you don't want to let those guys down. And even last year, you talk about losing Brockers and, all these leaders that have been, long tenured Rams, but, you get in the season and you're in the playoffs and, there's Andrew Whitworth, there's Matt Stafford, there's Aaron Donald, there's Odell Beckham. There's all these guys who, everyone's written off or said something about their career here and there. And I can tell you, everyone on our team wanted to win a Super Bowl for those guys. It wasn't, I'm Brian Allen, I won a Super Bowl. None of that existed ever. It was about us. It was about the team. It was about winning for each other. And that really is the standard, and it's a unique thing, and it doesn't happen in the NFL. And, just coming back to that, it's kind of the devil versus the one you don't. The one that I know is, it's awesome, coming to work and getting to compete with these guys, get better. It's just, I don't know what else I'd want to do. And I think a lot of the guys share that same mindset. And again, just a unique place. So grateful to be a part of it. And, I know we're going to have some, attrition this year, whether it's coaching staff, players, but once OTAs start, it's going to be the same attitude, the same feel, the same, demeanor, just everything. We want to win, and we're not here to just have fun. We really do want to win and get better, and it's what makes it fun being a Ram.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Hey, Brian, just a quick big picture question for you. We ask quarterbacks all the time about what it means to have consistency and stability along the offensive line, but I'm kind of wondering if I could flip that on you when you look at everything moving and shaking in quarterback world here in the NFL, and what does it mean for linemen to have the quarterback question solved and answered?
Yeah, it's definitely nice. It's similar to, losing a guard. Just there's 11 moving parts on a football field. That's as cliche as it sounds, but you take one of those 11th out, your new offense, whoever that individual is, what he brings to the offense, things aren't going to change too drastically, but having that stability and, the confidence in Matt, knowing who's going to be back there, knowing how things are going to be ran, kind of the little, things that go on in an offensive play that, you get a feel and, a rhythm, and we all have that down. And, the new guys it's going to be a lot easier when, 10 guys are moving at, one speed versus having a new guy in and, everyone kind of trying to figure it out together. So, just it'll be nice having that, again, level of comfort with Matt, and it really just gives us the ability to kind of step in and pick up right where we left off. So, and he's that type of guy too, where he's a leader. And I know Sean and the offensive staff have been together. I'm sure Matt, he's a freak. He's already working on what we're putting in April. So awesome leader and one of those guys who you trust in and just know he's going to be doing the right thing, and guy you believe in and want to work hard for. And you do that, good things happen.